The Perelsons were, by all accounts, a loving family. The patriarch, Dr. Harold Perelson, had come from humble beginnings. His parents were poor immigrants from Poland. His father worked as a printer's clerk. They settled in Queens, New York, and Harold was the oldest of 4 children. He was born in 1909 and was academically gifted. Despite his family's financial problems, he managed to graduate from medical school. After he graduated, he moved to California in search of better opportunities, and he found them. He published several academic papers and eventually became a well-respected cardiologist and professor. He had realized the American dream. He married Lillian Silver, whose parents had also immigrated to the US. Together they had 3 children, Judy, Joel and Debbie. With the doctor's success came money, and with the growing family came the need for a larger home. In the early 1950s they purchased a house in the upscale Los Feliz area of Los Angeles for $60,000, approximately $1 million today. The Spanish-style mansion was built in 1925 by architect Harry E. Weiner for Harry Schumacher, a prominent businessman. It was later sold to noted German filmmaker Friedrich Zelnick before being sold to the Perelsons. With 5,050 square feet, 3 floors, 4 large bedrooms, a ballroom, formal entryway and more, it was considered a very grand and handsome house. In addition, it sits at the top of a hill with a view of the surrounding area. Everything seemed to be going very well for the doctor and his family. In addition to being a busy professor of cardiology, Dr. Perelson was an injection specialist and had even designed a new type of hypodermic syringe that would inject medication from a sealed glass tube, greatly reducing the chances of spills or contamination. He had put a large part of the family's savings into the development, and he had taken on a partner with whom he had made a verbal agreement to split the profits. The business venture, however, turned south, and Dr. Perelson had to file a lawsuit when he discovered that the rights to the device had already been granted to his partner without his knowledge or consent. He did eventually win the lawsuit for compensation, but was only granted just under $24,000 instead of the $100,000 that he asked for. Then came another blow to the family. Judy had taken the younger kids out in her father's car and was involved in a car accident. Another lawsuit followed. This time he was only granted enough money to barely cover the medical bills for the children. After all this, the family seemed to be in financial trouble. In a letter Judy wrote to her aunt, she stated, "My family are on the merry-go-round again. Same problems, same worries, only tenfold. My parents, so to speak, are in a bind financially." She even talked of looking for a job to help the family out. The stress seemed to be getting to the doctor. The family told neighbors and friends that Harold had suffered coronaries and had to be in hospital several times, but it was later revealed that these had actually been failed suicide attempts. Things came to a climax in the early morning hours of December the 6th, 1959. At approximately 4:30 a.m., Dr. Perelson picked up a ball-peen hammer and struck his wife repeatedly in the head. Lillian had no time to even cry out. When he was finished, he left their bedroom and went to the room of his eldest daughter, Judy, then 18 years old. He tried to strike Judy in the head with the hammer as well, but for whatever reason his aim was off and the blow did not kill her. Judy woke up and let out a blood-curdling scream. The scream was so loud and animalistic that it woke some of the neighbors as well as the younger Perelson children. Judy managed to get past her father and run out of the house seeking help. By that time, Joel, 13, and Debbie, 11, had come out of their bedrooms to see what was happening. Their father told them, "Go back to bed, this is a nightmare," and he headed to his bathroom. There he took a cocktail of drugs, most likely Nembutal and many codeine pills. Some sources say he also drank a glass of acid. He then lay down on the bed next to his dead wife and closed his eyes. By the time the police arrived, the doctor was barely breathing, and by the time the ambulance arrived, he was dead. Judy suffered a fractured skull and multiple lacerations, but made a full recovery. The younger children were unharmed. Why he chose not to attack Joel and Debbie as well will never be known. Perhaps he had lost his motivation when Judy escaped him, but few doubt that had he succeeded killing his eldest daughter, the younger children would have been next. On the nightstand next to Dr. Perelson's body lay a book. It was Dante's The Divine Comedy, and it lay open to a page that read, "Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway had been lost. All the children went to live with relatives, and the house was left virtually untouched. 1 year after the murder, it was sold in a probate auction to Julian and Emily Enriquez. Instead of moving in or renting the house out, the couple decided to use the house for storage and left everything else untouched. It remained that way for the next 50 years, frozen in time on the night of the murder. When Emily and Julian passed away, their son Rudy inherited the house. He also claimed to use it only for storage and to house some cats. He left the main part of the house untouched, except for installing a security system to deter the constant stream of trespassers. As with any place that tragedy has touched, it holds a certain fascination for people. The fact that it remained virtually undisturbed added greatly to its macabre allure. Many people, from squatters to paranormal investigators, have visited the site. Some even broke in. The Enriquez family did nothing to keep up the property, inside or out, except for adding the burglar alarm. And the building slowly decayed, lending an even creepier atmosphere to an already somber place. Neighbours pitched in together to try and keep the outside grounds looking as presentable as possible, and added a chain across the driveway, but could do no more. Most visitors were content with peering through the dirt-covered windows. Many described the dust-covered furniture still intact and in place, a dirty old doll staring at you from one room, half-wrapped Christmas presents on a table, and a few say there was even a Christmas tree with unopened presents still sitting beneath it. The Perelsons, however, were Jewish. This has led to a theory that the house was actually rented out to a different family before the Enriquez family purchased it, and on the anniversary of the murder, something frightened the family so badly that they fled, leaving their Christmas tree and the unopened presents behind. Though there were many requests to the Enriquez family, no one was ever given permission to enter the property. Those that chose to visit anyway have reported feelings of unease and of being watched. One woman claimed that after she tried to break in, she was bitten by a black widow spider, and that the motion detector in her backyard went off repeatedly for no reason after she returned home, as though something was following her. In 2015, Rudy Enriquez passed away, and in 2016, the house was finally put on the market once again. The asking price? Only $2.75 million. Nancy Sanborn was the realtor, and in preparation for the sale, all the items inside the house were removed. Thankfully, before that happened, photographer Alexis Vaughn was allowed to photograph the interior. Though most of what people described was indeed still there, no Christmas tree was found. In July of that year, the house was sold for $2.3 million to Lisa Bloom and her husband, Braden Pollock. Lisa is a civil rights attorney and legal analyst. You may have seen her on several television shows, including Lisa Bloom Open Court. She had stated that she intended to renovate and live in the house, but the sad dwelling is once again on the market, this time with a $3.5 million price tag. Would you be tempted to purchase this house, my dear viewers? Assuming, of course, you had ample funds. I would imagine there would be residual energy from such a traumatic event. Perhaps a residual or even intelligent haunting, which a sensitive person would tune into very soon after moving in. No doubt some no-nonsense family will move in and pooh-pooh any paranormal chatter, and put down the strange noises to old pipes, and the cold patches to an underground stream. Does Dr. Perelson even realize that he is no longer among the living? For 50 years he has had the property to himself, and perhaps, just perhaps, seeing only a replay of a long past family scene, while reading an excerpt from Dante's Divine Comedy. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway had been lost. Well, my dear viewers, I hope you enjoyed that sad and creepy tale as we switched back and forth from the past to the present. That story was researched by Sarah, my dear Sarah, who helps me out quite a lot, and I'm very grateful for her efforts. Wonderful research there, Sarah. The end text was by me. You probably recognize my style there. And not only a big thank you to Sarah, but a big thank you to Alexis Vaughn, who was one of the very few people to be allowed in the mansion to photograph how it was just before the house went up for sale. So I wrote to Alexis and kindly asked her permission, and she very kindly agreed to let me use the photos. And so I'm giving you a shout out, Alexis. Thank you very much. Your information is up there on the page now. She asked me to send a link to the video, and indeed I will. Hopefully you can post it on your page. Yes, although this was a relatively short video for the videos that I'm producing for Patreon nowadays, it was nevertheless quite a lot of work, that editing to get the images that Alexia allowed me to use to make it look like they were from the past, and then also to the present. It was quite difficult, getting rid of cracks in the tiling, etc. A lot of work, actually. So that was like probably just as much work as a full-length video, if not more. It was a lot. And anyway, if you look at my Patreon page now, you can see that there are my viewers who really do appreciate the lengths I go to bring you good entertainment, to bring you presentations that are enjoyable to watch. And look at how many patrons and how much money I'm getting a month. It tells you everything, doesn't it? I mean, there are just every day I come across channels with over 1 million subscribers, and they're getting nowhere near as much on Patreon. That tells me that people want quality, and that's what I intend to give. And now I'm going to give a Patreon roll call. I can't give all, there's so many patrons, I can't shout you all out. I'm just going to show a few pages here. Check this out. These are just some of the wonderful patrons who keep me going, who kept me going through the YouTube debacle about the demonetization. Well, I'm now back monetized again, but these are the people who are keeping me going the whole time. I would have given up long ago without this support, without this absolutely fantastic community. Such good vibes these people give off. Really just, can't thank you enough. I'm very grateful for that. It just keeps going. I wish I could do the whole list. We would be here for a long time. I think the viewers would not appreciate me showing the whole list. But these are just some of the top supporters here. You're seeing, wow, that tells me that my viewers like what I'm doing, and that's why that's why I keep going. This is the very reason I keep going, and do that extra, go the extra mile. That's why I'm doing it. Just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it does really inspire me with confidence for the future when I think that people are willing to support that much and willing to give that much money to me every month. That tells me I may have a future in this type of business. I don't know how yet. I have approached several months ago Fox, I think it was Discovery Channel. They never replied. But who knows, maybe one day some astute young executive may notice that there is something there. They could, have some success with my stuff. Who knows? Keep my fingers crossed, and I won't forget to invite you to the grand ball when I make it famous in Hollywood. Haha, dreaming again. But really, I've come this far, and I never ever imagined that when I started making these. When I started out making these a couple of years back, the narrated videos. Never ever imagined so. Who knows what the future may bring? It may go bottom up, but it may go either way. I don't know, but I'm happy it's went so far as it is, and I can't complain. I certainly can't complain, even if if it fizzles out. I've had a good run, but at the moment I'll keep going. I've got the support, and that's all I need. Thank you so much, my patrons. Thank you so much. Any of you goes on YouTube. If you want to hop over to Patreon, it costs $1 a month. You got a whole lot to see for $1 a month. You know, increased pledges are I'm always grateful for that. That's really fantastic if you can afford more, but I keep it to the minimum for the people who are really on the, on the breadline, who can't afford much. I am the fairest creator out there on Patreon, I tell you. For the content and for the pledge amount, I'm the fairest, so come and check it out. By the way, I saw this notification. This is one of my Facebook followers, Morgan, and he has received a top fan award from Facebook. And that's fantastic. Now, I know there are others on Facebook. I see that diamond symbol, and it says top follower or top fan or something like that. So any of you like Morgan who would like a shout out, just send me your notification award badge, top fan badge. Send me a screenshot and let me know, and I'll be happy to give you a shout out. Yes, Morgan has been a long time follower, and he communicates with Niffy, the co-administrator of Facebook, a lot, so that's probably earned him the top fan badge. But there's a lot of viewers who have posted a lot of comments and clicked a lot of likes, and they have become top fans too. I'd be happy to give you a shout out. I've already said that. I think it's time for me to go. Working on another Patreon video now, and I've got some heaps of amazing stuff coming up. Footage for my out and about. Wow, I went to this absolutely crazy old antique junk shop, collectible emporium. I don't know what you'd call it. It's like something out of a Charles Dickens novel. You've never seen anything like it in your life. I filmed the whole lot. Crazy place. When this old lady dies, it's all going to go. She's been there that long. You have to see it to believe it. That's also coming in the future. Stay tuned, my friends. Take care and God bless.